Commander Ashley Mitchell's boots crunched through layers of corroded circuitry as she made her daily inspection of Junkyard Station Beta 7's primary sorting facility. The familiar stench of oxidized metal and burned plastics filled her respirator. 50 years after Earth's defeat, this was humanity's legacy, glorified garbage collectors for the Kraxan Empire. She paused at Junction 23, watching through the massive observation window as her crew guided another load of space debris through the processing arrays. The latest shipment contained fragments of a derelict cruiser, its once proud hull now reduced to scrap by some forgotten battle. Ancient warning lights still flickered weakly across its surface, like the last breaths of a dying creature. Commander Mitchell, a young technician, Roberts, if she remembered correctly, approached with a tablet. "We've got an anomaly in Sector G. The automated sorters are flagging something they can't classify." Ashley nodded, grateful for any break in the monotony. "Show me." They made their way through the labyrinth of sorting channels, past mountains of twisted metal and shattered dreams. The Kraxan had designed these stations as the ultimate humiliation, forcing humanity to process the garbage of superior civilizations. Every day, ships from across the Empire dumped their worthless cargo here. Broken technology, failed experiments, and the remnants of conquered worlds. Sector G housed the Neural Tech Processing Unit, where they sorted through discarded computational devices and AI components. Her brother Jake's domain. The thought of him brought a slight smile to her face. He'd always been fascinated by the tech that passed through here, even if they were only allowed to catalog and destroy it. There, Roberts pointed to a cluster of crystalline structures suspended in the sorting beam. They pulsed with a faint blue light that seemed to intensify as Ashley approached. The system can't determine their origin or composition. They're not matching any known configurations in the database. Ashley studied the strange objects. They looked almost organic, like neural clusters frozen in crystal. "Have you notified Central Processing?" "Not yet, Commander. Protocol suggests we should attempt manual classification first." She appreciated the technician's discretion. Every call to Central Processing meant another black mark in their efficiency ratings, another reason for the Kraxan to tighten their grip. Good thinking. Tag them as Series 7 neural fragments and route them to secondary processing. "I'll handle the paperwork." Roberts hesitated. "But Commander, they're clearly not." "They're garbage, Technician Roberts." Ashley's voice carried a weight of authority that made the young man straighten. "That's all they need to be. That's all anything here needs to be." After Roberts left, Ashley lingered in Sector G, watching the strange crystals disappear into the secondary processing chute. She knew they'd end up in Jake's lab instead of the incinerators. Her brother had a knack for making things disappear into the station's labyrinthine depths. The overhead speakers crackled with the daily propaganda broadcast. A smooth Kraxan voice filled the chamber. "Remember, efficient processing is the path to redemption. The Empire generously provides humanity with purpose. Show your gratitude through diligence." Ashley's fists clenched as she remembered the final battle for Earth. She'd been just a child, but some memories burned too deep to fade. The Kraxan ships darkening the sky, their weapons turning humanity's proudest cities to ash. Now they spoke of generosity and redemption while treating humans like servants. Her communicator buzzed. "Jake's private channel. Ash, you need to see this. Lab 3. Now." Something in his voice made her pulse quicken. Jake wasn't one for urgency unless it really mattered. She took one last look at the sorting facility through the observation window. Countless humans in gray jumpsuits moved through their assigned tasks, processing the galaxy's refuse with mechanical precision. Perfect little garbage collectors, just as the Kraxan intended. But somewhere deep in her core, in that place where hope refused to die, Ashley felt something shifting. Like the strange crystals in their blue containment beam, something was pulsing, waiting to be understood. Maybe that's all humanity needed. One small piece of the puzzle, one crack in the perfect prison the Kraxan had built. She turned toward Lab 3, her footsteps echoing through the metal corridors. Behind her, the sorting facility continued its endless task, processing the broken pieces of 1,000 civilizations. But for the first time in years, Commander Ashley Mitchell felt something dangerous stirring in her chest. It felt like possibility. Lab 3's security door slid open with a pneumatic hiss. Ashley found her brother hunched over a workbench, surrounded by holographic displays. The mysterious crystals from Sector G floated in a containment field beside him, their blue pulse now synchronized with the soft whir of scanning equipment. "Jake?" She moved closer, noting the sheen of sweat on his forehead. "What's wrong?" He looked up, and Ashley's breath caught. A thin line of blood trickled from his nose, but his eyes blazed with an intensity she hadn't seen since before the occupation. "It's not wrong, Ash. It's everything right." He gestured to his neural implant, a crude human medical device the Kraxan barely tolerated. "Watch this." Jake closed his eyes. The crystals pulsing quickened, matching his heartbeat. Suddenly, the holographic displays around them flickered and changed, showing complex patterns that definitely weren't in their approved programming. "That's impossible," Ashley whispered. "The Kraxan stripped all our systems of advanced computational abilities." "Exactly." Jake wiped the blood from his nose, grinning. "These aren't our systems. They're garbage, remember? Worthless neural tech that the superior species threw away. But look what happens when I interface with them." He concentrated again. The crystals flared brightly, and every piece of technology in the lab responded. Diagnostic tools activated. Containment fields shifted patterns, even the lighting adjusted to optimal levels, all without Jake touching a single control. "The human brain." Jake's voice trembled with excitement. "Our supposedly primitive, limited human brains, they can sync with this tech in ways the original creators never imagined. The Kraxan, the Moranti, even the Collective, they all design their neural interfaces based on their own neurological patterns. But human consciousness, our ability to form new neural pathways, we can adapt where they can't." Ashley finished, understanding dawning. "But how did you even attempt this?" "The risks." "I didn't attempt anything." Jake laughed, the sound both joyous and slightly hysterical. "I was just scanning them, trying to classify the fragments like a good little garbage collector. But they responded to my implant automatically. It's like they were waiting for us, Ash. Like all this cast-off tech has been waiting for minds flexible enough to understand it." Ashley's tactical training kicked in, assessing threats and possibilities. "The Kraxan's neural scanning protocols can't detect it." Jake tapped his implant. "They're looking for their own neural patterns, their own technology. This is something entirely new. Human consciousness interfacing with alien tech in ways that defy their understanding of both." She studied her brother carefully. The nosebleed worried her, but she couldn't deny the implications of what she'd just witnessed. How many others could do this? Anyone with a neural implant, which, thanks to the Kraxan's work quotas and safety regulations, is about 70% of our population. His expression darkened. They thought they were just installing control mechanisms, making us more efficient workers. Instead, they gave us the key to our own revolution. Ashley felt dizzy with the possibilities. Every piece of discarded tech, every fragment of alien neural systems, all of it potential waiting to be unlocked by human consciousness. A warning klaxon sounded in the distance. Shift change. Soon the corridors would be filled with workers, and questions might be asked about why the station's commander was in a restricted lab. "We need to move carefully," Ashley said, her mind already formulating plans. "If we're going to explore this, we need to establish security protocols, testing procedures." "Already done." Jake gestured to a hidden panel that opened smoothly in the lab's wall. Inside, more crystalline fragments pulsed with that distinctive blue light. "I've been salvaging compatible pieces for weeks. The Kraxan's automated systems registered them all as standard neural waste. As far as they know, this lab is just another processing center for garbage." Ashley stared at the hidden cache of potential, remembering all the years of humiliation, of watching humanity's spirit being crushed beneath the weight of the Kraxen's contempt. How long until you can test this with other workers? Jake's smile held a predator's edge. Give me 2 days to set up secure testing protocols. Then we can start showing our people that their garbage collector days are numbered. In the containment field, the crystals pulsed like a heartbeat, like hope given physical form. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to adapt, to take the pieces others discarded and build something new. The Kraxen had given them 50 years to practice. The message arrived buried in a routine salvage manifest. Neural waste processing efficiency increased 47% through modified containment protocols. To any Kraxen observer, it was merely another statistical report. To Ashley, it was confirmation that Station Delta 3 had successfully replicated Jake's discovery. She stood in the newly established Special Processing Unit, a section of Beta 7's lowest level that officially didn't exist. Around her, 20 hand-picked crew members worked with quiet intensity, their neural implants glowing softly as they learned to interface with the salvage tech. Watch your synchronization rhythms, Lewis, Jake called out to a young woman whose crystals were pulsing erratically. Remember, you're not trying to control it. You're having a conversation. Ashley smiled at her brother's teaching method. In 3 weeks, he'd gone from researcher to mentor, helping others understand the delicate dance between human consciousness and alien technology. The nosebleeds had stopped once they understood the proper integration techniques. Commander, Technical Officer Sarah Hayes approached, her tablet displaying what appeared to be waste disposal schedules. We've received confirmation from Gamma 9 and Beta 12. The resonance patterns match exactly. Ashley nodded, understanding the real message. 2 more stations had joined their network, which they'd nicknamed the Salvage Chain. Each success validated their theory. Humanity's neural plasticity wasn't a fluke. It was an evolutionary advantage no one had recognized. Delta 3 has something interesting to show us, Hayes continued, swiping through her tablet. They found these in a Moranti wreck. The screen showed what appeared to be damaged propulsion components. Quantum field generators. Ashley raised an eyebrow. Those are supposed to be incinerated on site. Officially, they were. Hayes smiled. Just like we officially incinerated those crystalline computational cores last week. Speaking of which, she led Ashley to a sealed chamber where Jake and his team had been working. Inside, fragments of supposedly destroyed technology were arranging themselves into new configurations, guided by the neural interfaces of 3 operators. Watch this, Hayes said proudly. She activated her own implant, connecting to the hybrid system they'd created. The assembled technology responded instantly, components shifting and realigning like liquid metal. It's more than just neural interfacing now, Jake explained, joining them. We're teaching the different technologies to communicate with each other. Moranti quantum fields, Kraxen power cores, even ancient collective processing units. They're all compatible when filtered through human consciousness. Ashley watched in amazement as the hybrid technology continued to evolve, taking forms that defied traditional engineering. How are we keeping this hidden from the automated scans? That's the beautiful part. Jake gestured to the seemingly random piles of debris surrounding the work area. The Kraxen systems can only recognize patterns they understand. When their scans hit our tech, they see exactly what they expect to see: worthless garbage. We're operating in their blind spot. A sudden alert from above interrupted them. Incoming salvage shipment, the station's AI announced. Priority processing required. Back to our day jobs. Ashley sighed. Hayes, make sure everyone's clear on the new schedules. We'll need to rotate teams more frequently as we expand operations. As the crew dispersed, returning to their official duties, Ashley held Jake back. Delta 3's quantum field generators. You think we can adapt them? Better. Jake's eyes gleamed. We already have. Remember those shield harmonics we couldn't stabilize? The quantum fields solved the resonance problem. Give me another week, and we'll have protective barriers that can redirect energy weapons. Ashley felt a familiar mix of pride and anxiety. Their network was growing faster than she'd imagined possible. Every day, more stations joined the salvage chain, more discoveries were shared through coded manifests, and more garbage was transformed into revolutionary technology. But with each success came greater risk. One wrong move, one careless word, and the Kraxan would realize their perfect prison had become humanity's greatest laboratory. Commander Mitchell to processing control. Her communicator crackled. Incoming inspection team requires supervision. Acknowledge. Ashley straightened her uniform, ready to play her role as the dutiful garbage collector. Around her, the hybrid technology they'd created settled into innocent-looking piles of debris. Let the Kraxan come inspect their garbage. They'd never understand that they were watching humanity's renaissance, hidden in plain sight among the discarded pieces of their empire. Jake had been right from the start. It was all about having a conversation, and humanity was finally ready to speak in ways the galaxy had never heard before. The warning came 3 minutes before the attack. Unregistered vessels approaching from Vector 793. Beta 7's eye announced calmly. Configuration matches known Crimson Talon signatures. Ashley was in the command center instantly, watching the tactical display. 5 pirate ships, moving fast and confident. Of course they were confident. Who bothered to defend a garbage station? Status of Special Processing Unit. She subvocalized through her neural implant. Jake's response came instantly. Ready. Hayes has the quantum fields aligned, and Lewis got the shield harmonics stable yesterday. Do we show them? Ashley watched the pirates approach. The Crimson Talons were notorious for stripping stations bare and selling the crews to slavery rings. The Kraxan Empire wouldn't care. They'd just send more humans to replace any that were lost. All personnel, implement Protocol Omega, she announced shipwide. This is not a drill. They'd practiced this, planned for it. But simulation was different from reality. Now they'd see if their hybrid technology really worked. The pirates struck with textbook precision. Their lead ship launched an EMP burst designed to knock out conventional defenses, followed by boarding pods aimed at key access points. Standard procedure for raiding a helpless station. Impact in 10 seconds. The AI warned. Ashley smiled. Jake, light them up. The junkyard came alive. What looked like random debris began to move with purpose. Fragments of 1,000 different technologies, guided by human neural interfaces, flowed like liquid metal. The EMP burst hit a barrier of quantum-shifted energy and reflected back at the pirates, scrambling their own systems. By the void, Hayes breathed, watching from her station. It's even more beautiful than the simulations. The pirates' boarding pods slammed into what they thought was defenseless hull plating. Instead, they met adaptive armor that absorbed and redistributed their kinetic energy. The pods became part of Beta 7's growing arsenal, their metal flowing into the station's evolving defense matrix. Commander. The pirate leader's hologram appeared, his scared face twisted with rage. What trickery is this? Welcome to Beta 7. Ashley replied calmly. I'm afraid we're closed for unauthorized salvage today. The pirates opened fire with everything they had. Energy weapons, mass drivers, even forbidden antimatter torpedoes. Each attack was absorbed, analyzed, and repurposed. The quantum fields Jake had adapted didn't just block their weapons. They learned from them. Their shields are failing, Hayes reported. The feedback loop is working exactly as designed. Ashley watched as the pirate ships tried to retreat. Their engines flared desperately against the station's grasp, but it was too late. The very weapons they'd used were being turned against them, augmented by technology they couldn't comprehend. Commander, Jake's voice held a note of warning. We're approaching maximum safe threshold for the neural network. Much more, and we risk exposure. He was right. They couldn't reveal too much. Not yet. Disable their engines and weapons. Let one ship retreat. The Kraxan need to believe this was just a lucky defense, not a show of force. The hybrid technology responded with precision. 4 pirate ships were systematically stripped of their offensive capabilities, their crews trapped inside helpless vessels. The 5th ship, engines damaged but functional, fled into hyperspace carrying tales of a junkyard that fought back. As the adrenaline faded, Ashley surveyed the aftermath. Their secret weapon had performed perfectly. Even now, the defensive systems were dissolving back into seemingly random piles of debris. No evidence remained of the incredible transformation they'd witnessed. "Damage report?" she asked. "Minimal structural damage to outer sectors," Hayes responded. "All personnel safe. The pirates' weapons and resources have been salvaged." Jake emerged from the special processing unit, grinning despite his exhaustion. The neural interfaces held stable throughout the entire engagement. Everyone performed perfectly. And the Kraxan observers, already submitting their reports. As far as they can tell, the pirates were defeated by their own weapons malfunctioning. A tragic accident caused by poor maintenance and outdated equipment. Ashley nodded, satisfied. Their first real test had been a success, but more importantly, it had been a controlled success. The galaxy would hear whispers about a junkyard station that couldn't be raided, but no one would suspect the truth. Not yet. "Back to work, everyone," she announced. "We've got garbage to process." Around them, the salvaged pirate technology was already being integrated into their growing arsenal, disguised as just another pile of worthless debris in an endless sea of junk. The Crimson Talons had given them an unexpected gift, proof that their innovations worked in actual combat. The next step would be sharing these innovations with other stations. After all, pirates were known to be persistent. They'd need more junkyards that could defend themselves. Ashley smiled at the thought. The Kraxan Empire had just witnessed humanity's first display of power, and mistaken it for luck. Efficiency reports indicate a 23% increase in processing speed at Station Gamma 9. Ashley read from the Daily Manifest. To untrained eyes, it was routine bureaucracy. To the salvage chain, it meant Gamma 9 had successfully integrated the quantum fuel technology. 3 months had passed since the Crimson Talon incident. The pirates' retreat had sparked exactly the reaction they'd hoped for. A ripple of curiosity through the station network, carefully hidden beneath layers of mundane reports and waste management statistics. "Delta 3 has something interesting to show us," Jake said, leading her through the expanded special processing unit. The chamber had grown, hidden spaces carved from unused storage bays. "They've been experimenting with those Moranti neural crystals we shared." He activated a secure holographic display, showing schematics that masqueraded as waste classification charts. They found a way to enhance the neural interface's range. "Look at these resonance patterns." Ashley studied the data, understanding dawning. "They can coordinate across larger distances." "Much larger." Jake's eyes gleamed. "Remember how we had to maintain physical proximity during the pirate attack? Delta 3's innovation lets us extend the neural network throughout an entire station, maybe even between stations, eventually." A technician, Lewis, her confidence grown since the attack, approached with new data. "Commander, we're receiving reports from 6 more stations requesting waste management consultations." She smiled. "Apparently, our efficiency metrics are drawing attention." Ashley nodded, understanding the coded message. More stations were ready to join the network. After witnessing Beta 7's successful defense, dozens of station commanders had begun looking more closely at their own garbage collections. "Show me the specialization breakdown," she requested. Lewis's tablet displayed a map of the network. Each station was developing unique applications of their shared technology, playing to their strengths while maintaining the facade of routine operations. "Gamma 9 has mastered adaptive shielding," Lewis explained. "Their commander was a defense specialist before the occupation. Station Echo 5 is focusing on propulsion systems. They're processing a lot of damaged engine cores lately." And Delta 3. is pushing the boundaries of our neural interfaces," Jake finished. "Each station adds something new to the network. The Kraxen's perfect organization is working against them. By keeping us specialized, they've given each station different types of technology to study." Ashley watched the data streams flowing through their hidden network. Coded messages passed between stations, disguised as routine maintenance requests and inventory updates. The Kraxen's own bureaucracy had become humanity's secret highway. "Commander Mitchell," a voice called from the upper level. "Priority shipment arriving from central processing." Ashley checked the manifest and felt her pulse quicken. "Jake, look at these classification codes. The Kraxen are sending us debris from their latest battle with the Collective." Jake whistled softly. "Cutting-edge tech, fresh from the battlefield. They really don't think we can understand any of it, do they?" "Their arrogance is our advantage," Lewis said, already preparing the neural interface stations. "How much do you want to bet there's something useful in that wreckage?" The three of them shared a knowing look. Every piece of technology the Kraxen dismissed as garbage was potential waiting to be unlocked. Their network grew stronger with each shipment, learning and adapting in ways their oppressors couldn't imagine. New report from Echo 5. Hayes called from her station. "They've successfully tested the enhanced propulsion systems. Full maneuverability achieved with no external signs of modification." Ashley felt pride surge through her. Across the galaxy, humanity was awakening from its forced slumber. Every station in their network was a center of innovation, each discovery shared and improved upon by minds the Kraxen had dismissed as primitive. "Keep me updated on the battle debris processing," she instructed. "And send word through the network. Any station that hasn't adapted the quantum field defenses should expedite their preparations." "Problems expected?" Jake asked quietly. Ashley watched the network's hidden data streams, thinking of the pirates' retreat and the whispers that must be spreading. "Let's just say I doubt the Crimson Talons will be the last unwelcome visitors we receive. When the next attack comes, I want more than one station ready to surprise them." In the processing chambers below, the day shift continued their work, sorting through the galaxy's cast-offs with practiced efficiency. But beneath the facade of routine, humanity's revolution was taking shape, one piece of salvage technology at a time. The Kraxen Empire celebrated another year of perfect order, never noticing that their garbage collectors were building something extraordinary from the ashes of their contempt. The Kraxen battle fleet emerged from hyperspace without warning. 5 warships led by the Dreadnought Dominance. Their black hulls absorbed the starlight, bristling with weapons designed to shatter worlds. At their head, High Inspector Vex Thor's personal vessel gleamed with golden trim, a symbol of his exalted status. "Well," Jake said, watching from the command center, "I guess those efficiency reports caught someone's attention." Ashley kept her expression neutral as she activated the station's official communications. "Battlefleet Dominance, this is Commander Mitchell of Beta 7. We're honored by your unexpected visit." Vex Thor's hologram materialized, his scaled face bearing the ceremonial scars of high rank. "Commander, your station's processing statistics have drawn considerable interest. The Empire wishes to observe your methods." Through her neural implant, Ashley sent a silent command through the hidden network. Throughout Beta 7, crews began their rehearsed protocols. Hybrid technology melted into seemingly random piles of debris. Advanced systems disguised themselves as primitive processing units. "We would be delighted to demonstrate our commitment to efficiency," Ashley replied, bowing slightly. "Shall I prepare a standard tour schedule?" "That won't be necessary." Vex Thor's smile showed too many teeth. "My inspection teams are already launching. We'll conduct our examination thoroughly." Jake's hand brushed Ashley's arm, a silent signal. The neural network was humming with activity as station personnel took their positions. Every crew member knew their role in this elaborate performance. The first inspection team arrived in Processing Hub Alpha. Ashley watched through hidden sensors as armored Kraxen soldiers moved through the facility, scanning everything with their advanced detection equipment. Impressive organization. The team leader noted, studying the sorting systems. Though your methods seem inefficient, why do your workers handle materials manually when automated systems are available? Manual processing allows for more accurate classification, Ashley explained, the practiced lie flowing smoothly. Human perception can detect subtle variations that automated systems might miss. In the background, Lewis and Hayes managed their teams with carefully choreographed clumsiness. They dropped pieces of scrap, fumbled with sorting tools, played their roles as primitive laborers perfectly. The inspection continued for hours. Vexthor's teams moved through every level, every sector, searching for any sign of unauthorized activity. They found exactly what they expected: humans performing menial labor among mountains of garbage. Your neural implants, Vexthor said suddenly, his eyes fixing on Jake. They seem different from standard models. Ashley's heart skipped, but Jake merely shrugged. Necessary modifications for improved processing efficiency, High Inspector. The original designs weren't calibrated for human neural patterns. We submitted all changes through proper channels. Vexthor's eyes narrowed. He reached for a scanner on his belt, a device designed to detect any unauthorized technology. That's when the accident happened. A junior technician, right on cue, tripped while carrying a container of magnetic waste. The material spilled across the deck, interfering with nearby equipment. Alerts blared as sorting systems went haywire. Containment breach in Sector 7. The station's AI announced. Emergency protocols engage. Chaos erupted. Workers rushed to contain the spill as safety barriers activated. Vexthor's scanner, affected by the magnetic interference, displayed nothing but static. Perhaps we should move to a safer location, Ashley suggested, hiding her smile. The accident had been perfectly timed, disruptive enough to end the inspection, but not so serious as to warrant deeper investigation. Hours later, after the Kraxan fleet departed, Ashley stood in the command center watching the warships vanish into hyperspace. Around her, Beta 7 slowly came back to life. Hidden technology emerged from its camouflage. The neural network hummed with relieved messages from her crew. They suspect something, Jake said quietly. Vexthor isn't convinced. No, Ashley agreed. But he can't prove anything. And by the time he returns, she gestured to the display showing the station network. Dozens of points of light represented their growing alliance. We'll be ready. Throughout Beta 7, humans returned to their work of processing the galaxy's refuse. But there was a new energy in their movements, a suppressed excitement. They had faced their greatest test and emerged stronger. The Kraxan had come looking for secrets and found only garbage. They had studied humanity's neural implants and seen only crude tools. They had inspected Beta 7 with their finest technology and detected nothing unusual. They had watched humanity's greatest performance and believed every moment. As night shift began, Ashley sent one final message through the network. The awakening continues. The message flashed across every neural network in the salvage chain. Vexthor's fleet approaching Delta 3. Full invasion force. Time to show them what garbage can do. Ashley stood at Beta 7's command center, watching the tactical display. The Kraxan had finally pieced together enough evidence to act, but they'd waited too long. 50 stations were now linked through their enhanced neural network, each one a sleeping giant waiting to wake. All stations reporting ready, Hayes announced, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. Quantum field generators at full capacity. Hybrid systems online. Jake's voice came through the neural link, broadcasting from the engineering hub. Delta 3 is evacuating their civilian personnel through the hidden tunnels. The Kraxan won't have any hostages to use against us. On the main screen, Vexthor's fleet dropped out of hyperspace near Delta 3. 20 warships, including 3 dreadnoughts, moved to surround the seemingly defenseless station. Their weapon systems powered up, ready to make an example of these uppity humans. Commander Mitchell. Vexthor's hologram appeared, his scared face twisted with contempt. Your little network of rebels ends today. Surrender now, and perhaps some of your people will survive as laboratory specimens." Ashley smiled. "Hi, Inspector. I'm afraid there's been a misunderstanding. We're not rebels." She paused, savoring the moment. "We're innovators." She sent the signal through the neural network. Across the galaxy, 50 junkyard stations transformed. At Delta 3, mountains of debris suddenly flowed like liquid metal, forming barriers that absorbed the first wave of Kraxan fire. The station's outer hull rippled, quantum fields redirecting energy weapons back at their sources. What had appeared to be random piles of garbage revealed themselves as weapon systems beyond anything the Empire had seen. "Impossible," Vex Thor snarled. "These are just garbage processors." "They can't." "Can't what?" Ashley interrupted. "Can't understand your technology. Can't improve upon it. You gave us 50 years to study every piece of advanced tech in the galaxy. Did you think we were just sorting it?" The Kraxan fleet opened fire with everything they had. Delta 3 not only survived the barrage but evolved during combat, its hybrid systems learning and adapting with each attack. The station's defensive screens, based on technology from a dozen different species, proved impenetrable. Multiple Kraxan vessels showing critical damage, Hayes reported with fierce satisfaction. Their own weapons are being used against them. Delta 3's neural network is performing perfectly. Through the command center's windows, Ashley watched Beta 7 complete its own transformation. The station's true form emerged, not just a battle station, but a living fortress guided by hundreds of linked human minds. What the Kraxan saw as primitive neural implants had become the key to controlling technology they couldn't even comprehend. "You should have killed us when you had the chance," Ashley told Vex Thor's increasingly panicked hologram. "Instead, you made us process your garbage. Every broken weapon, every failed experiment, every piece of tech you thought was worthless. We learned from all of it. We found ways to make it work together, to make it better." Vex Thor's flagship, the mighty Dominance, shuddered as its own weapon systems turned against it. The neural technology that humans had secretly perfected reached out through the quantum fields, touching the Kraxan's supposedly secure networks. Their own ships began to respond to human commands. "Multiple Kraxan vessels attacking each other," Hayes announced. "Their crews have lost control of primary systems. The neural interface is broadcasting through their command networks. All stations, Ashley broadcast through the neural link. Execute Protocol Omega. Show them what humanity has built from their scraps." Across the galaxy, junkyard stations revealed their true nature. 50 nodes of power, each one specialized and unique, but all working in perfect harmony through the neural network. The Kraxan fleet found itself surrounded not by helpless garbage processors, but by an array of technological marvels they couldn't begin to understand. "Your empire made 2 mistakes," Ashley told the failing hologram of Vex Thor. "You gave us access to every advanced technology in the galaxy. And then you gave us time to understand it, improve it, and make it our own." She watched as the mighty Kraxan fleet was systematically disabled by their own former slaves, not destroyed. Humanity had learned from their oppressors' mistakes. Instead, each vessel was carefully preserved, ready to be studied, understood, and improved upon. Like everything else the Kraxan had discarded, their warships would become part of humanity's renaissance. The revolution of the refuse had begun. 3 months after the fall of the Kraxan Empire, Beta 7 had transformed from a simple junkyard into the galaxy's premier innovation center, where mountains of garbage once stood. Gleaming laboratories and research facilities now reached toward the stars. But Ashley had insisted on keeping the station's original name, a reminder of where they'd started. "The Moranti delegation is arriving," Hayes announced from her upgraded command console. "Their scientists are particularly interested in our quantum field applications." Ashley watched the sleek Moranti vessel dock through Beta 7's adaptive shielding. The same technology that had defeated the Kraxan now welcomed visitors from across the galaxy, all drawn by rumors of humanity's extraordinary breakthroughs. Remember when they wouldn't even let us touch their broken tech? Jake asked, joining her at the observation window. Now they're bringing us their best and brightest, hoping we can improve their designs. The command center hummed with activity. Through their neural network, now spanning hundreds of stations, humans coordinated complex research projects with dozens of species. Each breakthrough was shared freely, a stark contrast to the Kraxen's philosophy of hoarding knowledge. Latest results from Project Renaissance, Lewis reported, her neural implant glowing softly as she accessed the data. The hybrid propulsion systems are showing a 300% efficiency increase. The collective scientists are calling it impossible. Ashley smiled. Impossible had become a familiar word since humanity's emergence. Their unique ability to interface with and improve upon alien technology had shattered countless theoretical limitations. Commander Mitchell, a young technician approached. We've received a priority request from the Kraxen Rehabilitation Fleet. After their defeat, the Kraxen had faced a choice: adapt or fade into obscurity. To their credit, many had chosen to learn. Their remaining ships, once symbols of oppression, now served as mobile research platforms where Kraxen scientists worked alongside humans and other species. Put them through, Ashley nodded. Vexthor's face appeared on the screen. No longer a hologram, but a real-time transmission. The former High Inspector had survived the revolution, though his pride had taken longer to recover than his injuries. Commander, he said, his voice lacking its former arrogance. My team has encountered an unusual energy signature in the outer rim. We believe it may be remnants of precursor technology, given your people's unique capabilities. Send us the coordinates, Ashley replied. We'll dispatch a research team. She couldn't resist adding, after all, someone needs to check if it's worth salvaging. Vexthor acknowledged the gentle mockery with a slight bow. Like many Kraxen, he'd learned that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their neural interface technology or their innovative spirits. It was their ability to find value in things and people that others had discarded. After the transmission ended, Ashley toured the station's research levels. Every laboratory held examples of humanity's new approach to technological development. Hybrid systems combined the best aspects of countless alien designs. Neural interfaces allowed for direct communication between organic minds and artificial systems. And everywhere, people worked together, sharing knowledge instead of hoarding it. The collective representatives are requesting permission to establish a permanent embassy, Hayes reported through the neural link. They're offering access to their entire technological database in exchange. Approve it, Ashley decided. But remind them of our primary condition. All breakthroughs must be shared with the network. She paused at her favorite observation point, watching ships from dozens of species dock at Beta 7. The station's outer hull rippled with quantum energy, its adaptive architecture constantly evolving to better serve its inhabitants. Not bad for a pile of junk, she thought. Message from Delta 3. Jake's voice came through her neural implant. They've successfully integrated the new consciousness transfer protocols. The network can now share experiences directly, not just data. Ashley felt the familiar surge of pride. Humanity had taken their greatest humiliation, being forced to process garbage, and turned it into their greatest strength. They understood now that nothing was truly worthless. Every piece of discarded technology, every failed experiment, every rejected idea held potential. All it needed was the right perspective to unlock it. Commander, Lewis appeared at her side. The new class of engineering students is ready for orientation. Would you like to give your usual speech? Ashley nodded, following her to the training center. Inside, eager faces from a dozen species looked up at her. The next generation of innovators, drawn to humanity's unique approach to technological development. Welcome to Beta 7, she began. Let me tell you a story about garbage and how it changed the galaxy. In the space around them, the station continued its endless evolution, proving that sometimes the most powerful force in the universe isn't strength or knowledge, but the ability to see possibility where others see only waste.